In this podcast of Threading Thoughts, we discuss the exponential growth of online presence and its consequences. In this online era, where things both good and bad last forever on the internet, personal branding can be considered more important than ever. Almost an online record, people believe it impacts how one is perceived online and offline, how one connects with a larger audience on values, and even the success of business. Personal branding can provide the opportunity to highlight the strengths and passions and creates the sense of intimacy and trust, even if you have not met a person personally. It has led to a major rethink of how businesses market themselves and an ever-growing importance of the social media influences. Personal branding needs to be consistent and stay true to their brand. Today, I'm in conversation with Purnima, who is a senior communications professional who has worked in the line of communication and PR for over 20 years. She has worked in both PR agencies and corporates in India and the US. Purnima's key skills include managing reputation management, personal branding, leadership communications, internal communications, influencer marketing, etc. She's been an advisor and strategic consultant to leadership teams on reputation management, crisis management, organizational change, and customer centricity projects. Purnima has worked very closely with CEOs and other senior management to build a 360-degree strategy and circumvent crisis. Purnima, I'm so glad you joined us on this journey today. And
thank you for having me, Randana.
Talking to you as well.
And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to start off with, this. Where does this failure play a role in personal branding?
Well, actually, to begin with, let me just say that, people sort of assume that, it takes a very short time to build a brand. And that's where failure could set in, right? So it takes a lot of time to build a brand, right? So it takes a lot of networking, it takes a lot of building of your content, and your content needs to be really valuable content, something that kind of positions you as a thought leader. So it takes time, it does not happen overnight. And that's where a lot of people tend to fail. I wouldn't say fail. I think that's quite a harsh word. Probably they tend to be misguided in a sense that personal branding happens overnight. The other thing is also in terms of your content on Twitter and on LinkedIn, right? So a lot of people start by just blogging, right? Or they post their opinions on various topics. So it's really important that the whatever content that you post on these mediums really resonates with your values as a person. So in personal branding, it's about you as a person, right? It's not about a company. But yes, if you're associated with a company, it makes it all the more important, right? It's very important that what you post on social media should not be debilitating in a sense to the company that you're attached to. For example, there are platforms like Quora, which are really free-flowing in a sense, right? So Quora is, they throw up various subjects. So there are a lot of times when there could be debates and, somebody might not agree with it. So it's very important to be composed and remember that you are your company's face in a sense. So whatever you put on social media, will kind of translate back into what your face is for your company, and people get a very different view of you as a person. So it's very important. So I always say that social media is great. It's a fabulous platform, but it's very important to use it responsibly.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes this is actually beautifully leading to my next question, where how much does tarnishing a personal brand actually affect a firm's brand? So how can we resolve that?
So, for example, as I said, keep away from, as far as possible, keep away from commenting on controversial topics, right? Or if you have controversial topics to comment on, be very clear what you're going to say. It should not be something that's kind of puts you in a bad light, right? And for example, it's interesting sometimes, we a lot of us, I think all of us, right, in our very lighter moments, tend to Google your name and see what comes up, right? And sometimes a lot of things startle you because you say, oh my God, okay, this happened maybe 20 years ago, but it's still showing up, right? And I might have commented on something, but Google picks up everything. So it's really, I did it recently, and I said, and I saw a lot of things which I mean, they were not negative, but there were things which I had commented on many years ago, but it was still coming up. So here again, I say that, you are an extension of your company. So it's very, very important. If you're on your own, that's a different thing altogether. At the same time, you should use it responsibly. That doesn't go say that you should not. But when it's a company, when you're attached to a company, it's all the more, important that you should stay focused. So the other thing is, whatever you write, there should be consistency. It should not be muddled messaging or inconsistent, right? So be consistent with your company's and your organizational values. So what I was saying is, in terms of searching your name, going back to that point, sometimes it's good to search your name and plus the company name, and then you'll see a lot of interesting things coming up, right? So,
okay. Okay. No, that's a very different perspective. It actually tags your name to the company's name quite a bit.
Correct.
Start seeing the relationship between what you do vis-a-vis your company, perhaps, right? And I think that's a very important sort of lesson or a checkpoint for us to see how we are posting, and maybe a bit of course correction, perhaps. If
yes, right. So that's a great point. Actually, coming to that point, if you tend to see something a little untoward or negative in your search results, right, with your name and your company's name, what you could do is add a lot of positive comments on top of that. So it brings down that in your search results.
Right. So it just brings down the value of the negativity that might have come even by mistake, sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Very true. And so we are all very active. At least I am very active on social media. Given my multiple interests and the different media that support these postings, right? So personal postings on social media can sort of make or break careers, given the access and comfort of millennials to online engagements. Not just millennials, me too. And what are your thoughts on that?
So going back to that same point that I said, it's very important to use social media responsibly. I think we tend to get carried away because social media is such an open platform, right? And there's everything under the sun that comes under social media. And I feel a lot of things, for example, like religious and political topics, right? One tends to go beyond the line sometimes, right? Correct. So those are very, very sensitive topics, and one should know when to, draw the line there, especially coming back to the point of being an extension of your company. And it's very important to listen, so social media, you have in all kinds of courses also that you go to, they say listen. That is the whole point of social media. It's not always about writing. Listen to what is out there, listen to what people are saying, respond to it. And I'm seeing it a lot on LinkedIn actually, and I'm learning a lot on LinkedIn. So, you listen to what people say, and sometimes you write on that, right? And you leverage that to position yourself, for example. And then that's the way you build a network. So if I tag somebody and if I leverage what that person is saying, you're building a friend there or building a colleague. Right?
True. And that's very important because for most of us, social media is more like a dumping bin. There's anything you speak with, sometimes, a lot less thought put into what we're putting out there, right? I think that really does comes back in a cycle to bite us at some point of time if we are not careful.
Correct.
And so personal branding has become less of a competitive advantage and more of a requirement. Especially in these COVID times, you see this peak of people actually interested in personal branding and the fact that they need to rediscover or reinvent or even pivot themselves, right? It has become a reality for the political process, for enacting social change, for taking advantage of business opportunities, and even for our personal lives. So how do we actually manage it? I think that is very, very critical for a lot of people.
Yeah, so, as I said, someone is like you rightly said, someone is always watching you, right? Always, every second. So anything that you put out, anything that you say is always being watched, right? So use it responsibly. And as I said, make a certain a name for yourself in a sense on social media. Let it be known that you're not somebody to kind of just rattle away on anything that's put up. It's very important to be composed, to be mature, and comment on topics that you think are useful to comment on. There are a lot of times you don't have to comment, right? You can always put a different perspective to it, or you don't have to necessarily, you can twist it around, you can turn it around and use it to your own advantage, and a positive advantage in a sense. And so it's all about how you really tackle that comment or tackle that post, and make it come across as if you are kind of bringing a positive perspective to it.
Oh, that's absolutely, I think, valuable, because sometimes we don't realize that just the positive spin to what we are saying might actually reach out to a lot more people. Might be the same thought, right? Or it's the kernel of an idea, but it's just the way you present it as well.
Yeah, because sometimes when you react negatively, that person will again, it'll just kind of.
Correct. It's a vicious cycle, right? It just
it is absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely. How would you compare traditional branding with e-branding, given that e-branding has taken off quite a bit?
Yeah, so traditional branding really, I would say, so there's a lot of discussion on traditional branding and how it's dying. So I wouldn't agree with that. There are a lot of things, a lot of avenues where traditional branding does come in useful, right? Probably if you're launching a product, or your company is going through a name change, you could probably do a mix of both. You could do social media as well as do an event on ground, put out flyers, put out press releases, so therefore media plays a big role there, right? The traditional media. Now, social media also is great. Digital media is good, and the other thing is social media is more cost effective than media relations, right? For example, especially when it comes to TV and things like that, right? So TV can work out very expensive, but when it comes to things like advertorials, etc., that works best in traditional media, right? But digital media, I think it all depends on how you how you want to position your product or your company. Honestly, it's got good and negative, not negative, I would say. It's got its good things and its drawbacks, depending upon what you want to do. Now, the other thing is also social media, is also very good in terms of like search engine optimization, Facebook ads, all these work very well, right? But there are also times when, for example, Google changes its, some kind of algorithm or something. So there is a drawback to that also, right? I mean, would it work positively for your brand? So I would say a mix of both is good. I would personally say probably a 70-30. 70 social media, 30 traditional media.
That's wonderful. For somebody starting out on personal branding, can you just give like 3 or 4 points on how to start off? I mean, how do they get going?
Okay. One is, I think it's very important to determine what your superpowers are. What are your values, right? What are my superpowers? What is special about me, or what that I can offer that'll help people in their brand, in their journey of branding. That is one. Second is, if I have to do personal branding for somebody, that person should be very clear on what he or she wants to talk about. It can't be 100 messages, right? What is that one thing that will envelop everything else that I want to talk about? Right, so because a lot of people make this mistake of doing 100 things, and their thought is not, the third is, as I always say, is just use social media responsibly. That's what I think are the 3 top points.
Thank you so much. It's been so wonderful talking to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
It's been invaluable. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are actually thinking about personal branding to get a better idea and perspective, a clearer thinking process perhaps. And thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mridula. Thank you. It's been a joy to be here.